These lines at the bottom of the camera are sort of annoying. Oh well, it's not like anyone will vote down because of that.
Mr. Sandman, Mr. Sandman. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her complexion like peaches and cream. Give her two lips like roses in clover. Then tell me that my lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Now, I bet you thought I was going to use the Halloween theme for that. But no, I'm going for the auteur approach of Mr. Rob Zombie, and only using that for the end credits. But before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. Ah yes, Halloween. One of the best horror films in the slasher genre, a classic of director John Carpenter, and the film that introduced us to that knife-wielding, William Shatner mask-wearing maniac himself, Michael Myers. 7 sequels later, it seemed that the franchise was finally over with when musician-turned-filmmaker Rob Zombie decided to remake the original film in 2007. Now, while I haven't seen Zombie's more critically successful film, The Devil's Rejects, I did enjoy his earlier film, House of a Thousand Corpses. I found it to be a good homage to older horror films, and I especially liked the characters of the Firefly family, particularly Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding. However, I found myself disappointed with his first Halloween remake. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, if that's the case, then why didn't you just start with the first remake? Well, there are a few reasons for that. I mean, the film is not available for free, fully uploaded in English on YouTube. And besides, Mike J already covered it, and there's not much else that I can add to my view of the film. Except that at least I know how to correctly pronounce Danny Trejo's last name, and I also happen to know that the late character actor Richard Lynch actually was a real old bloke. Also, I honestly wouldn't have that much to say about it. It mostly just felt like the original film with lots of unnecessary unpleasantness added to it. Michael's backstory didn't really add anything to the character or the story. Michael shouldn't have been such a huge giant. Most of the characters were unlikable dicks. A lot of horror stars got wasted in pointless cameos, except for Ken Foree. He was awesome. And by the end of the film, I was actually bored by it. This sequel, on the other hand, is a different story. And, oh my, is there a lot to say about this sequel. Mike J also did a really good episode on this film, so watch both of his Halloween remake reviews, and then watch Nerd Quest, whenever that's coming out. Now, this is where I call up Welshie to make an obligatory cameo in my review, but, you know, he's kind of busy with the whole Saw retrospective things. So after seeing some text, which will set up one of the silliest images in this film, we get a flashback scene of Michael's mom visiting him at the asylum. And yes, as Mike J also points out, the actor they got to play the young Michael here doesn't look much like the actor from the previous film.
Was it a good dream or was it a bad dream?
It was a good dream, a really good dream. You were dressed in all white, like a ghost, like a really beautiful ghost. You were walking down this white hallway with this big white horse, saying you were going to come and take me back home.
Symbolism? I don't really know what that is. The film then picks up where the last one left off, where apparently Laurie has been dazedly walking through Haydenfield after shooting Michael in the face. Eventually, she gets picked up by Sheriff Chucky from the last film.
It's okay. I killed him. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I want you to come with me, okay?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I'll say she just goes from dazedly confused to completely freaking out. So as Laurie's taken to the hospital, we see one of the nurses is played by Caroline Williams, also known as Stretch from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Loretta from Leprechaun 3. Hopefully she's not in charge of the collagen injections. So as we also see the crime scene being cleaned up, we get shots of Laurie being fixed up at the hospital. This is the way we film the gore, film the gore, film the gore. This is the way we film the gore in excessive detail. While that's going on, we see a couple of coroners, one of them played by Richard Brack from Batman Begins, taking Michael and one of his victims.
Did you get a look at the naked chick?
As coroner, I'm on cover. I thoroughly examined her.
Then he talks about necrophilia. Lovely. This is all going disgustingly when...
You're like, cow! What? Cow!
Well, at least the local McDonald's will be happy. You're probably wondering why The Things We Do for Love is playing on the radio. I don't know, Zombie wields it. So while Joe Chill here is busy swearing up a storm of F-bombs, Michael makes his escape. He then stabs him and proceeds to cut his entire head off? Rather excessive, isn't it? I mean, how many other people has Michael Myers killed by cutting their entire head off? I don't know, maybe he's just overcompensating for not getting to kill the other guy. Anyway, get ready for one of the silliest images in this entire series. Really saying something, because this series also gave us this.
A 4 days to Halloween, silver shamrock.
I mean, just look at this. You have Sherry Moon Zombie dressed all in white with a big white horse. And then you have Michael Myers. Do these two things even look like they should be in the same film together? Ooh, a song about white things. It's all tying together. So Laurie stumbles out of her room, finds Annie, this African-American nurse, leads her back to her hallway. She goes back for pills, and...
Nurse, I need something for my head.
Wow, either that nurse has amazingly slow reaction time or just an incredibly high threshold for pain. I mean, who reacts to being stabbed like that? Michael? You realize Laurie's getting away, don't you? I mean, finding her is kind of your main objective, and it's certainly more important than stabbing this nurse to Kingdom Come. While she's trying to escape, Laurie falls into the hospital's storage of the zombies from Dead Alive. Either that, or Michael just happened to kill 100 or so people right in the same place. Eventually making her way outside, Laurie comes across Buddy the Night Watchman. With a name like that, you'd think he'd be played by Will Ferrell. But being a nice character isn't enough to save you in this movie, and he gets axed in the back. It's a hard and cynical Halloween movie for a hard and cynical world. Here's Mikey!
It was all a dream.
Well, okay, maybe it wasn't entirely a dream sequence. I mean, there were scenes where Laurie wasn't even present, so maybe it was a flashback inside a dream, or a flashback that became a dream, or parts of flashback inside of a dream, and only 20 minutes in and you're already confusing the audience, zombie. So yeah, Laurie has become this depressed, emotional goth type, and is now living with Annie and Sheriff Wormtongue. She's also going to therapy sessions with psychiatrist Lois Lane. I wonder if this is supposed to be ironic casting, considering Margaret Kidder's bipolar disorder issues. We also see that Dr. Loomis has become an uptight, phony celebrity author, banking off of Michael's case.
I'm not going in there until you go get me a cup of PG Tips with a splash of milk, and I want it sizzling hot.
And don't forget to schedule his appointment to the soap. So apparently Laurie works at Uncle Meat's Java House.
Yeah, with real good music and organic refreshments.
Which is run by old hippie Howard Heston. He only has one scene, so let's move on. We also see Laurie's two friends here. They're vulgar, annoying, unfunny, and will be dead by the end of the movie, so let's move on further.
Michael, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your mother has passed away.
She'll be back.
No, I'm afraid she won't be coming to see you anymore.
I'll see her again, but I won't see you.
Okay, apparently Michael is talking now during a period in which it was established in the first film that he had stopped talking. Great continuity, Red!
Since the authorities haven't been able to produce a body, do you think Michael's alive or dead?
Will he kill again?
Here we go again. Look, let me make things nice and sparkling clear. Michael Myers is dead. Now, do you brain-dead gossip mongers want me to spell that out for you? D-E-A-D.
Ironic.
Dr. Loomis should know better than this. In the original series, and even in the remake before this, Dr. Loomis would have known that Michael clearly was still out there, and he would have stopped at nothing to put an end to him. But now that he's a self-absorbed celebrity, he apparently just doesn't care. Just because you can have a character make a complete 90-degree turn in personality, it doesn't mean you should, zombie. Later, we see a bunch of hillbillies, including the pawn shop owner from Pulp Fiction and Gordon's corrupt partner from Batman Begins, finding Michael on their farm.
Hey, you stupid, slimy dick.
Seriously? Even if you don't know that's Michael Myers, he's a flipping giant. You haven't got a chance. It's like trying to shoot Godzilla off your crop.
Great horny toads! There's some sort of giant varmint on my property. Listen here, you bow-legged no-account raising son of a coyote. I'm gonna skin your innards outer and turn you inside out, you bow-legged no-account buck-tooth son of a kangaroo. When I come in here, I'm gonna hang you off of my crops, and then
I know it's Mechagodzilla. I don't have the regular one. So, you can probably tell where this scene is going.
Starving like Marvin.
Starving like Marvin. Has anybody at this table ever wondered who Marvin is? I mean, the original Marvin, who was starving Marvin? Was it Lee Marvin?
Who's Lee Marvin?
Who's Lee Marvin?
Did I stutter?
Paint Your Wagon, The Professionals, Lee Marvin, Cat Ballou. Cat Ballou, he was great in Cat Ballou.
Okay, I don't know why Sheriff Billy Vivid is going on this Tarantino-like discussion on Lee Marvin. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with his character, it doesn't have any kind of payoff, or point to the plot, so let's move on. Usually you have to go to Asia for cuisine like that.
Some people will eat anything.
Okay, apparently Michael and Lori have some kind of eating connection. Is this really the first time she's noticed this? Would it work with beverages too? Like, if Michael Myers got drunk, would Lori also get wasted? Well, it never comes up again, so let's move on. That seems to be becoming a theme in this review. So now we get a closer look at Michael's crazy fantasy world, which for some reason seems to be taking place in Halloween Town, which is filled with pumpkin-headed people.
We're off on the road to Morocco. This taxi is tough on the spine.
What?
Okay, I am all for selling books, all right? God knows I've done some things that I'm not proud of. This is disgusting. I did not agree to this backdrop. I mean, what's next? Heading over to the cemetery and dancing on the victims' graves?
Look, I don't think you quite understand what I'm trying to accomplish here.
Well, fair enough. I don't. Please explain it to me. I would really like to understand.
I'm selling the sizzle, not the steak.
The sizzle?
Yes.
The sizzle. Mm-hmm. It's bad taste is what it is, okay? And it's just gonna add fuel to the lynch mob fire.
Bad taste? Bad taste? God, it's business, woman! Business!
That's a dick.
Besides, bad taste is the petrol that drives the American dream.
Well, I think it's a mistake.
Oh, yeah, you do you?
Yes.
Well, when I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. Here, now take that and go sit in the car. Go on, get your in there. Okay, hi, where do you want me?
That's it, Loomis. Prepare to face the wrath of decay.
You are a douchebag. That's right, a douchebag.
Then Lori has disturbing visions of killing Annie in the same way that Michael killed William Forsythe in the previous film. You know, because of the whole psychic connection and whatnot. Eventually, Michael goes to the strip club where his mom used to work. By the way, I was actually mistaken the first time I saw this. That is not actually Sid Haig. It's one of the FBI agents from Final Destination. Michael apparently is just waiting outside for this guy that looks like Angry Joe to come out.
I suggest you take the easy road out and hit the bricks, Dorothy.
Come on and he's on down, he's on down, he's on down the road. So I guess Michael doesn't find Joe very funny tonight and kills him and then kills the owner and the hooker. The next day, during a book signing, Loomis almost gets shot by the father of one of Michael's victims.
Part of the job, I suppose. Spoon-feeding drivel to the masses. Comes with its own bloody price, doesn't it?
Well, you didn't have to become an author if you have such contempt for your audience. Meanwhile, Laurie finds out from Loomis's book that she's Michael Myers' sister. She handles it well. I don't really know why nobody bothered to tell her this before, or why she might not even have figured it out for herself. I mean, after all, Michael was showing her a picture of himself with his younger sibling in the first film, so I don't know, that might have been a subtle enough hint. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis is now on his talk show with Weird Al.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice to see you. Mr. Weird. How are you? Al's good. Great.
Why? Because zombies spun the wheel of random cameos and Al wasn't busy guest starring on the Bjork show. So now that Laurie has found out she's related to a notorious serial killer, what does she do? Go partying, of course.
Just party.
So Laurie and her friends go to the Halloween rave dressed as characters from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Well, that's never a good idea. Just look what that did to Tim Curry.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Then the Frankenfurter girl goes to have sex with Teen Wolf here, and then they both get killed by Michael Myers. Then Laurie begins seeing the same ghost visions as Michael. And then, somehow, Michael has enough time to get back to Laurie's house and kill the officer outside the house and Annie right before Laurie gets back, when he then kills Columbia and Laurie runs away from him. Of course, when Sheriff's little brother gets back, he's noticeably upset about this. Laurie comes across a random driver who probably is a bloke from Twister. I'm not sure. I couldn't even find who this actor is in the credits. Michael immediately kills him.
Senseless waste of human life.
Before tipping the car over and grabbing Laurie out of it. There's an explosion in Halloween 2.
Who directed this? Michael Bay?
Well, actually that joke doesn't make any sense, because there was an explosion in the original Halloween 2, so let's move on. So Deputy Bill Fagerback reports this incident to Sheriff Uncredited Gas Station Attendant at the beginning of Urban Legend. Wow, I'm really running out of characters played by Brad Dourif.
She saw a large man carrying a girl away from a crash. The state police believe the perp is barricaded inside of a shack just north of the crash site.
That sounds like an emergency, Deputy. Better put your signal on.
I love you, Mommy. I love you, Mommy.
Just hanging out,
hanging
out.
I love you, Mommy.
Hanging out with the family, having ourselves a party. Just hanging out, hanging out. Hanging out with the family, having ourselves a party.
You know, this really hasn't made any sense throughout the whole film. Why is the ghost of Michael's mother encouraging him to kill people and also trying to get Laurie to kill? I mean, that's certainly nothing at all like she was when she was alive. I mean, of anyone, she seemed to be the only one who cared about Michael and the family. She certainly didn't encourage his original killing of the whole rest of the family. And when he killed again at the asylum, she put a bullet through her brain. So yeah, it doesn't entirely make sense. So Loomis hears about this event on the news, but by this point I really don't know whether he actually wants to help or he just wants to move more publicity out of this.
You got a shot, kid. No, I can't get a clean shot.
Believe it or not, that's actually not Reginald Vell Johnson.
Oh, I want to shoot you. I want to shoot you so bad.
Shoot him, Sheriff Brackett. Do Haydenfield proud.
This is pointless. Michael's never going to respond to hostage negotiations.
So when Loomis gets in there, he does exactly what he said was pointless before.
Die!
Well, that's an understatement. That's like Hitler just saying hate. So Michael stabs Loomis.
What you say? 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 That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say?
So then, even though the sheriff said to hold fire, Laurie is also shot down by the cops, and then apparently goes to the 2001 A Space Odyssey hospital for some reason.
Just a lie meant to make you blue. Love hurts.
So that was Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It's pretty bad. While it's certainly more visually interesting than the first film, the characters and plot have only gotten worse. Still filled with unlikable and unnecessary characters, pointless gore, unnecessary plot changes, and pointless death scenes. Now you'd think after killing off all three main characters, the studio couldn't possibly make any more sequels out of this franchise. Nope. Halloween 3D coming next year, allegedly. I'm film reviewer Schulz, and remember, it's Halloween, and we're all entitled to at least one good scare. Oh my gosh! I've been stopped!